I'm here this morning with a 2008 Honda Civic Si. I have secretly always wanted to drive an 8th gen, and Chris got in touch with me a few weeks ago and said I would be very welcome to drive and make a video of his. This is a pretty cool car. He actually has 214,000 miles on the Civic Si. He's owned it for quite a few years, and kind of a cool thing that he told me about this is that he learned how to drive stick shift in this car at the dealer. The dealer taught him how to drive stick as he drove it out the lot. So it's one of the best manual transmissions. Honda always does a really good job with their manual transmissions. So Chris, you did a good job picking your first manual in the Civic Si. So thanks for letting me drive this thing. This is a cool car. I especially like driving high mileage daily drivers just because it's, you've put the majority of the miles on this car. You got it when it was like, what?
About 8,000 miles on it.
8,000 miles.
Yeah.
So it was pretty much brand new. And you've put, since then, over 200,000 miles on it.
Yep.
It's pretty impressive. What kind of mods do you have? I know you said you have is it the HPF exhaust and suspension?
Oh, yeah, the HFP exhaust. And then I have the suspension. Other things I have are, as far as the brakes go, I have the rotors. The front rotors are drilled.
Okay.
They're crush drilled, I'm sorry. That's just for looks. And then I have EBC brake pads on it, which did make a difference. It feels more sensitive than it did OEM, so I have that. As far as the wheels go, I have Enkei PF01s. Those made the car feel more comfortable because I think the OEM wheels were about 24 pounds or 22 pounds. These are about 16 pounds.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's
a big weight difference.
It felt lighter over the road, just going straight. Sure. It looks better too, I think. Other things are, I do have sway bars on it too. I have Eibach, I don't know how to pronounce the name. Sway bars. I had the rear one first, and then I put the front one on not too long ago. I had the rear one for
so it's a balanced setup now. You've got front and rear. Cool.
Yeah.
I've always really liked Eibach sway bars. They're kind of softer, but they make the car a little bit more fun to drive, more communicative.
Yeah, there was another brand. I forgot the name of it. I think it was like Redline, Red Sport, something like that. They seem more tuned for people who autocross.
Sure, that's right.
So I always use this as a daily driver, and so that's why I did the suspension I chose.
So in 214,000 miles, has it been pretty reliable for you? Any major issues? Just pretty much basic maintenance, or?
Yeah, as far as the engine and transmission go, I've never had a problem. The only major thing I had to do was the air conditioning.
Okay.
But
that happens.
Yeah, I've never been stranded or anything like that. I've never had a check engine light go on.
Nice.
I've never had. I don't know. I just drive it. I change the fluids when I'm told to. That's it.
Awesome.
I warm the car up though. That's maybe one thing I do that's pretty good.
That's a big thing. Is if you're just starting the car up, beating on it, it's never good. Never happy.
Yeah, at least about.
Gotta have some mechanical sympathy.
5 to 10 minutes in, I don't really shift above 4,000 RPM.
Yep.
Which can be kind of a struggle in this car because it's not a lot of power down low, but you can get around in the city, but yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely a car that you're going to rev out. It doesn't have a lot of torque. But it's nice because the shifter is pretty fun to use, and you don't mind shifting a little bit extra.
Yeah, I actually downshift just to downshift more in this car, I think. I have a Volkswagen GTI also, and although they play in the same area as sport compact cars, they just have different personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pedals are nicely placed for rev matching. This transmission, I was saying earlier, like next to the Miata, it's probably one of the best feeling stock transmissions from a car. Like Honda nails their SI Type R transmissions. The feels are just, the shifts are so crisp. It's the right, like the shift knob's the right size and tactility, and I think this is the same ball as the S2000, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
It is.
Cool. And yours has a nice little like wear and patina on it. Back when you could actually feel VTEC kick in and hear VTEC kick in. Nowadays, with new Hondas, with the turbo VTECs, you don't really feel VTEC kick in. You just kind of like, oh, it's in the background, but there's a turbo mostly providing a lot of the boost.
It makes these cars more unique now. All these cars are those generations, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, I think this car has aged really quite well. This whole dash layout was a little bit funky when they first came out, but I kind of like it. It's like a heads-up display, but it's a sharp, easy-to-read digital speedometer, and you've got all the information you need. It's kind of minimalist. Everything falls to hand. It's very driver-focused, kind of like the S2000. Like I said earlier, I've always been interested in driving one of these cars, and so far it's you know, it's living up to the expectations. You can feel that front differential doing some work there around the corners. This thing feels incredibly tight for 200,000 mile car. It's pretty awesome. It's fun to drive too. I mean, I think you've got a nice balance here with the mods that you've done, not making it uncomfortable, but at the same time, they've just kind of enhanced the driving experience. You also have a Mark 7 GTI too. So how do these two cars compare? I mean, is this kind of your fun car compared to the GTI? Is that kind of your daily driver?
I like both cars a lot.
Yeah, because they're kind of similar classes, but they're very different as far as driving experience.
Yeah, of the two, the GTI is the better car.
Like overall? Okay.
It's a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like better gas mileage, safety, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot more usable. It feels much more expensive. I think it feels better built as far as the interior goes and everything. But this is the better driver's car, I think, because you're just more in touch with the car. Like when I've driven it so long, I know which gear I'm in, I know what speed I'm in usually by just listening to it. I never have to look at the speedometer for the most part.
Yes,
The GTI
right.
I do. When you're on the highway and you downshift from 6th to 4th, so you're going like 70, 80 downshift. In this car you have to go down to 4th gear.
Yeah.
At 60 you have to go down to 3rd gear, because that's where VTEC starts, 3rd gear. It's very satisfying. In the GT, just the sound, the experience of driving the car, all the non-quantity, all the qualitative features that you just kind of feel. In the GTI, though, it's much faster. So it's just a different kind of experience, I guess you could say.
I think you nailed it. All the inputs on this car are really nice. The steering feels really good. The steering wheel size is nice. It's a little bit of a smaller wheel, it feels like. And this shifter, man, a shifter can make or break a car, and it absolutely makes this a real joy to drive. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm sorry I can't you can't feel shifters through YouTube videos, but if you could, this is a sweet one.
You always know which gear it is.
It's true, yeah.
It's always solid. You never feel. I haven't driven a lot of cars that are stick shift in my time, but I remember when I was buying the GTI, I drove a lot of other cars at that time, a lot of stick shifts, and that's when I started to appreciate this stick shift the most.
It's really good.
Yeah, because I didn't realize how different. I mean, much more expensive cars actually than even the GTI was. Yeah, it felt just more sure. It felt like a mechanical linkage.
Yeah, it's very tactile. It's very just, it's smooth, but also communicates exactly, what gate you're going into. There's no vagueness. The clutch is nice and short. We were talking about that earlier. Like, you drove a BRZ and you're surprised at how short the clutch pedal travel was on that.
Yeah,
and that's really nice.
I've never seen anything that short before.
Yeah.
I thought this was really short. I saw that. And the WRX, that was really short too.
Yes. This is a fun car, man. So these are going for what, 6 to 9,000, 6 to 10,000 these days. That's pretty good. That's pretty good value. I mean, this one I feel like has held up especially well, just because you've probably mostly put highway miles on this. You do probably what, like 25,000 miles a year or so.
I'd say 70% is highway, 30% city. So mostly highway.
Okay.
Obviously makes a big difference.
Exactly. I mean, whenever you're putting exclusive or mostly highway miles on a car, you know, it's not as much load on the engine, not as much strain on the suspension components, just because you're driving on smooth road at, you know, 70, 80 miles an hour. It's just a much lighter stress situation for a car.
It is northern Ohio, though.
That's true.
Michigan.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you said this has started to rust a little bit, but you know, it's a 10-year-old car, and that's just kind of what happens.
It's always outside.
Yeah.
For the most part, until like the last few years.
But from the outside, it looks clean. It's held up well. The white paint still looks good. You've got a few rock chips up front, but that just shows that, you know, it actually hasn't been in an accident in the 200,000 miles that you've driven it. So. It's really tight. It feels nice. Suspension feels good. It's just there's like no shakes and rattles in here.
Yeah, it is really solid cars. Yeah. There's a next generation SI right there.
Hey, there you go. Was that still the K20, or did they go?
That's the K24.
Okay, they went to K24.
That's the one people didn't like as much.
All right.
I think people like this one more.
Okay. Yeah, man, this is it's so sweet to downshift and row through the gears. All your inputs here are they're very driver focused and very satisfying. Brake pedal has nice feel. I think these EBCs definitely helped with probably that initial bite too.
Yeah.
So the brakes feel good in this
car.
Yep. Yeah, so one thing you were just saying is that, you know, cars got a little bit heavier after this generation of Civic Si. Do you know the curb weight on this?
I think it's about 2,800 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, right around there.
That's a really, really good weight for a front-wheel drive car.
2,700.
That's lighter than the GTI. That's lighter than pretty much anything in this class at the time. And, well, maybe it's like, you know, a little bit heavier than like a Fiesta ST or something, but that's a smaller car.
Yeah. But I think driving your cars of today, you drive cars of that generation, that time era, you forget how light and athletic cars can feel at the time.
That's true.
So I think that's one of the things with this car. It feels, a lot of people say that about this car.
It's fun, man. This thing rips. Just rockets out of corners with the front diff. It's great. And we're on slippery, snowy conditions today. Cool.
I like the seats too.
You know, it's funny because the seats are really comfortable. They're nicely bolstered. They kind of remind me a little of my BRZ seats, to be honest.
Not as good.
I mean, yeah, maybe they're not as good, but they're nice. They're comfortable, and they're kind of this cloth Alcantara
I like
texture.
it better than the next, so the 9th generation SI. These have better seats than that, I think.
Okay.
I've driven that one before. And those are fine too, but this one was better.
You know, it's funny, like when I was shopping my 2010 GTI, I bought that new, and I almost test drove a 2010 Civic Si. And is that still an 8th gen?
Yeah, I think they made this till 2011.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
But there weren't that many around. I wanted to buy a new one of these initially, but I couldn't find one. Really.
Yeah, I know, they were hard to find.
Yeah, so the dealer actually told me that they were kind of maybe not going to continue with the SI, but it continued for a few more years.
Yeah. But it's funny because I really like the way this drives. Like, this is kind of, to me, this is kind of like maybe a little bit dulled down front-wheel drive S2000, you know, just in the way the shifter feels and the way the engine's character is. And
I'd say it's in the same family.
It's in the same family, you know?
Yeah, it's the same company.
Yeah. So, which is kind of cool. I think, you know, if I would have test drove these, I may have bought an SI. But, yeah, it's cool that this has, you know, a limited slip front diff. You know, it's a nice, pretty bulletproof powertrain. Seems like the engine and the transmission have held up really well. They still feel excellent. So pretty good buy if you're looking for a first fun manual car or just something to, you know, enjoy around town. And have you done any racing or track days or autocross with this or anything?
No, I haven't. I wish I did.
Just enjoy it on the street.
Just drive it around.
Hit VTEC.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again. This is really a pleasure because, like I said, I've really wanted to drive one of these for quite a while, and it
pleasure.
didn't disappoint. So I'm a fan, and you have a really nice example here too. Everything's held up really well. It feels nice and tight, and also I'm sure it's just a testament to Honda's build quality with these two back in the day.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah,
I think it's a great car.
Cool. All right, man. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you later.